Peter Stone partners with people making a difference on our planet. This exquisite sea pearls design shows the beauty sea kelp emits when filtered by the power of the sun and the sea together. Photographed by Ernie Brooks of the Brooks Institute and transformed by the team at Peter Stone into a stunning precious metal sculpture. A limited edition pendant of fine sterling silver, sea pearls, and 18-karat gold vermeil accent. Together, we inspire the preservation and protection of our fragile environment. We care. Our actions matter. Hello, everyone. This is Peter Stone coming to you live from Samut Prakan, Thailand. And I always like to make sure everybody knows that this is the mango capital, maybe of the world. The best mangoes in Thailand come from over there. And everywhere in the marketplace. So when you come to Thailand on your total life freedom journey, just give us a call. Give me a call. We're 8 minutes from the airport. The airport is in Samut Prakan. It's not in Bangkok, but they call it the Bangkok International Airport, but it's not. It is just outside of Bangkok, like by a kilometer. So when you're coming, give us a call ahead of time. We'll make sure we get the sticky rice with the mangoes. And if it's not mango season, then, the durian season's starting. And there's a whole lot of other cool stuff here in Thailand. So this webinar is about your freedom and the many facets of your freedom. People in general overthink things. And I know maybe you've seen that, but definitely not enough. When I'm going through, here we are in the beginning, you want to subscribe. You want to subscribe because I subscribe to a lot of videos and I only saw one video about overthinking, overcomplicating, putting so much complexity in the simple things in life. Everybody's got to have exactly the T's crossed, the I's dotted, and just perfectly spaced. There's a lot of people that do, and I don't know how many, but a lot of people will invent reasons. And this goes all the way back to my high school when I was traveling, working on offshore fishing boats, inshore fishing boats, working in a lobster company, doing all kinds of stuff, some things I can't even mention here, but to make money. So I made lots of money and I was always free. And I, in that respect, I bought the clothes I wanted. I had the cars I wanted, really. My mother got pretty upset at me, my family, because I bought a van and I put in oval mirror, candle holders, a cassette, an 8-track cassette player. Someone drove the van from California and we're on the East Coast in the United States and I'm a kid and it is the 60s and I got a van, baby blue and sky blue with I-beams for bumpers. And I earned enough money, just pay cash for that. And I was a junior in high school, not a senior, a junior. And I didn't have online fast money. I had hard working fishing boat money, just like the most dangerous catch is what I was doing when I was 16 years old and 17 years old, out but it was in the summertime, no ice. And the danger was exactly the same. Didn't matter. But there was no ice. I got to say, that saved me. Traps swinging, big giant traps. They weren't as big as the crab traps, but they were swinging in the air, and the ocean was bouncing, and the boat was smaller than that. So we had a challenge. And these people are all about the adventure, the adrenaline. And I asked all these people, come on, let's go. And they're like, yeah, I can't wait to get out of this town. I've told this story before, but it's worth retelling. Why? It starts from the beginning. They all wanted to go, and we graduated, and I was hungover the next day. And a few days later, I started asking people the next day. I said, you're ready to go? Go to Canada, right? 17 years old. I wasn't even 18 when I was 17, and we're going to Canada. I'm like, I'm going. Are you going? And I pushed for like 3 or 4 days. I pushed 20 people. Not one of them could go. Not one. They had an excuse. They complicated things. Their life of freedom was like, okay, I just got to go. I got to go wash dishes in the restaurant to make some money. I'm like, I got money. Let's go. Just bring your food money. Let's go. Nope. And I found one person, and he went. And that's what I mean. It's rare. So out of 20 people, actually it was 21, so it's less than 5%, have the mindset of freedom. They believe and have been taught, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. No, you got to be careful. Be careful. Really? I told my daughter, go do it. My mother told me, go do it. Go out on the open ocean, never knowing if I was coming back again. A kid, 7, 8, 9, 10. She taught me business when I was 12 years old. She taught me bookkeeping, balancing books, making money. Why? Why did she do that? Because I saw this Amesbury skiff. You see them in New England in the rustic photographs. It's an old skiff, and it has its lap streak on the side. And I had one with a motor on it that I wanted to buy, and it was $275. That was back in the day. That's probably like $1,500 today, or $1,000 or something. It was a lot. She goes, yeah, I'll buy it for you for Christmas, but you got to pay for half. I'm like, pay for half? What are you kidding me? I'm 12 years old, right? I'm going to pay for half. She goes, you pay for half, and I'm going to show you how to pay me back half of that money. I'm like, okay. I'm like in my kitchen in my house. I never forget. And we had a stairway that went down in the basement. And around the corner, back in the corner where I built lobster traps, oak lobster traps, with galvanized nails and copper nails to hold in the heads, and 4 bricks because they were so heavy. And when they got soaked in the water, they were like 75 pounds. I built 75. I went out and hauled 75 traps in the morning before I went to work when I was 15. By the time I was 15, she taught me, go out, make a living, catch some lobsters because you want to. I see you're always down the dock since I was a kid, like a 5 years old kid, right? And she says, well, I'm going to show you. She did, and she got her money back. And I got money too. I made money, and my bank was behind the books in my room in a dresser. It was a cabinet, and I put books in there. And I put my cash. I had 50s, 20s, 10s, 5s, and 100s. When I started working offshore, and every time I needed money, I would reach in there. I never knew what it was going to come out because I just stuffed my money there. Put a little in the bank, but my mother wanted me to put it all. And I like to spend it and live it and use it. And I did. So she encouraged me, and it seems when I listen I listen to other people's parents, oh, you can't do this. And I hear it today still. Oh, because don't go there. I'm in the pool here in Thailand. And this woman, this guy's from England. He married a Thai lady, and friends of mine. That guy actually worked at my company. And so we're in the pool. I said, bring your family over. Let's go for a swim. And his wife is like, oh, don't be careful. Don't go there. Oh, you're going too far. I'm like, my God, what's this kid gonna grow up to be? And honestly, people just, like I spent 32 cents on a stamp, but today it's maybe $1, right? Got to put it in the ledger and track everything. Exactly. Well, the world is full of abundance. You can make as much money as you want. And that's what I used to tell my mother. She's like, save it. Don't spend it. Save it. And she was right in one aspect. And in another way, since I've been a kid, I have been living my life of freedom the way I wanted to, not the way my mother, yes, to a degree, the way my mother wanted me to live. She wanted me to make money, live, and watch my money to make sure I had it for a rainy day. I did watch my money, and I bought the van that she didn't want me to buy. And I was going to buy property in Maine, but I couldn't find the article in the Yankee magazine ever again. If you could imagine 5 acres of land on a cove in Maine, surrounded by trees, beautiful Maine coast, for $9,900. Like 50% more than I paid for my van, and I could never find that ad again. So my money went into toys and playing, and rather than that investment, and I really wanted to go on that investment, but that was the beginning of my journey to party and have fun and play. And, it was just really this: if the vans are rocking, don't come knocking. And it's just the way it is. So life went on, and one friend went to Canada with me. And that's where my journey started, to over 101 countries. So I'm telling you that kind of to impress you, sure. And only because that I have a hunger that never stops to see more. There's people that did almost 200 countries, okay, that have done that. And there's more, because some are colonies and they're considered countries, but I'm not going to go there. So, and if you're holding on now, if you're holding on to not travel, then, and saying, well, I got this stuff here and I have that, that is a facet to your freedom. It's how can I say, an imperfect facet, or a facet that's maybe too perfect, right? Because you're trying, it's got every facet's got to be exactly perfect. Well, on a D-colored diamond that is absolutely clean, then you got to stick to those rules. You got to think about that. Think about that. You worked your life, and in some cases, people are trying to make a decision. Should I go? Shouldn't I go? And you should. You should get out, explore, enjoy. Go to places that you've never seen before. Open up your mind and see people, meet people, not just online. Meet them face to face. Some people are a little sculpted when they post things. They're afraid to post things that somebody, they're not going to like this. What are they going to say? Well, I don't know. They shut me out Facebook. So, and I had some people, because I lost half of the people, they didn't like what I said. And I'm like, okay, well, that's the way that goes. But I'm just as happy for it. I mean, half of those people I don't really know that well. But when you get out and you start to bond and you start to connect with like-minded people and say, geez, They broke away just like you perhaps had to sever, like it's an umbilical cord that's just, you're stuck to it. And you gotta evaluate it. And you need to think about how you can do it without complicating it, crazy complicating it. Stuff. There is so much stuff. So I moved from one house. I moved to Kentucky for a year to do a consulting job for a jewelry company that somebody wanted to do a large transaction. And I moved there, and they paid and packed everything. And when I arrived, it was a new way. It was a new. I had a garage full of stuff. I had a company full of stuff. I had storages from the business. Like I had displays and table, all kinds of stuff. And it was a lot to move. But I had businesses, okay? So it wasn't just my house, but my house, I had a lot of furniture. And, I went to try to sell that and just move it quick. And I ended up giving most of it away. I still have some storage, believe it or not. And this was almost 10 years ago, maybe 8. And it's just adding to the bill, but I have documents and things in that storage too. The market is flooded with beautiful stuff. The market is flooded with beautiful stuff. If I go to a secondhand store in Florida, it's like going to a brand new showroom, American-made, beautiful stuff. Beautiful. Gorgeous. People took care of it. And then they died. And this place came and cleaned out their house. Because I'm looking for a desk and I'm looking for this when I was in Florida a year and a half ago, doing this program, setting up this program, doing my homework, deeper dive for the RV and the travel life. So don't worry about the furniture. If it's sentimental, get a small place, but don't collect stuff, okay? Just don't collect it. If it's really sentimental, you'll forget about it. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I've been pretty much a minimalist all my life, but we had a large house and we didn't want to live in an empty house. So we filled it with nice things and baby grand pianos and all that. And just furniture. And then the piano became an issue because you try to move pianos, special costs, special storage, dried, air conditioned. So the bottom line is break loose and really evaluate it. And what's the best way to evaluate it? I guess if you love computers, you could do it in the computer. If you really like paper, like I like paper, and I don't know, someplace I got something like a list set up. Here's a list, and that is kind of done. But here it is. Sorry, the coffee. The coffee, it spills every now and then. Real world, yeah. Real world coffee stains on the notebook, Peter. Oh, my God. So, passion, no passion. You have passion. But apparently, if you're deciding not to get out, live your free life, I've seen people online. We have so much stuff. Should we? I got to sell my house, got to move my house. Rent it. But if you live in New York, you're kind of screwed. Or some of these places like Illinois, where people are moving out, and now the real estate market is perhaps not the best that it could be. So wherever you are, you need to consider that. And there's a reason people are moving to Texas, to Florida, to Arizona, to other places that have a lot of fairs, festivals, and events. You get to get outside and see people. So it's your choice, really. Of course it is, right? But is it? Because of the mindset. Remember the mindset. Who is running your life? Is it the newspaper? Is it the news in the computer? Is it you and your loved one? Is it your partner? Who, or by yourself? Who is running your life? Are you running on a full tank of faith? Or are you running on a full tank, overflowing tank of fear? You got to ask yourself this. And quite frankly, there may be one or two things to fear these days. However, just have the faith that everything will be okay, because high expectation, I expect only the best to happen, and it will. So with that high vibrational mindset, these are the facets. These are the facets that shine bright and make the value in your life. The way you operate and the way you think and the way you expect your life to be. Do you really expect it to be as great as it can be? Do you expect it? And if not, think about why not? Get out the paper, make the list. These things scare the living out of me. Okay? So what are you going to do about it? Sit locked in your house and be afraid? Or are you going to get out, look up, open the door, look up at the sky and feel the energy. Say a mantra, say a prayer, say, I expect only the best to happen, and it will. And you know what? When you believe it and you live it and you vibrate it, and it takes practice for, if you're in one of those really extreme states where you can't let go of where you live and you worry about every little aspect of travel, then, I knew one very big influencer that moved to Puerto Rico, and where are we going to get the car? How are we going to get the food? Well, arrive and discover. You can make time for discovery, because the back journey, if I just beeline to the store because that's what I found online, and I just beeline to that place for the car, I've got no adventure, really. I'm just doing the one thing that I do, and I don't open the door to other things, other angles of life. So, there's this is a big concern. It's not a big concern, really. It's a concern, but it's not a big one. And it shouldn't be the anchor that drags you down or won't let you move forward. I say, and I don't have a knife, but I say, cut the damn lines that are connected to the anchors of your past, physical, mental, even spiritual, because if you're living in a fearful world, you better replace that with faith. I'm warning you, if you don't take your fear and shift it, this is a big warning. This is very serious, okay? This is like the top facet of it all. And if you don't get beyond that, all kinds of stuff happens. Because our thinking is not that of, I expect the best to happen, and it will. It's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What are they telling me? You got to get out of there. Get out. Don't allow, they talk, just don't go there, because that's sheepish. And even if you've been living a protected life, you can break out of that. You can get emboldened. You can embolden yourself. And if you can't, come back, hit the button, hit the subscribe button, and learn one little thing and practice it. Come back and practice. Yes, I repeat. I rinse and repeat, because if I don't and I forget the important things that make me expect nothing but the best to happen, if I forget that, then my facets get really dull, dirty, and they don't reflect the light of life. I was going through some notes. I was going through my G drive last night till like 2 a.m. pulling up a lot of images, because I don't want to share images on my social media that somebody else collated. Oh, I'll go to this image bank, I guess, right? You got an image bank? I don't even know what the proper name is for those things, right? A photo bank, whatever. That's some, all these just perfectly good photos, right? So I have perfectly good photos, perfectly right photos that I've taken all over the world. And all in the ocean, and it doesn't matter, in the sky, wherever they've been, they're real photos, and I've taken them. Personally, it's my eye that is seeing the world, and your eyes should be a facet, the window that you look through to the world firsthand. Not second, third, fourth, fifth. I can show you everything I've done. I mean, yeah, maybe you care. You do care, because maybe you're inspired by it, okay? You say, like, wow, if he can do it, I can do it. Well, that's the whole point of this. I want to inspire and at least motivate you temporarily till you get fully inspired and connected to go see, and you take your own photographs, your gallery of your life. I mean, I go through this and I'm like, yeah, this is, people say, keep a diary, write it down. Well, mine is an image diary that goes back many years. I got an image of me on a ship, actually in the Philippines, waiting to warm up that ship and get moving. And I got a little bit of grease on me, and I'm wearing an engineer's coveralls, and I just remember the day and the times and the adventures that make my life shine. So what was I looking on online? I was looking at quotes that I had taken images of, and this one actually wasn't in my G drive. It was someplace on, I don't know, YouTube. They had written about light and darkness, or it might have been Paramahansa Yogananda, that in a dark room that sits with no windows next to a room that's got a lot of glass and sunshine, like it is here in Thailand, and blue sky and puffy clouds and tropical trees. So I look out and I see that, and it's just bright. But then I open the door to the darkness. And this was like really a revelation. I'm like, this really is powerful, because I'm like, I never thought of it that way. And this is why we listen to other people and read their stuff. I'm like, holy crap. The darkness I opened the door. The darkness did not come out of that room and make the world dark, did it? Try it. The light came from outside and lit up the dark room. And when you look at a gemstone or you look at a diamond, I mean, there's a certain number of facets, right? And if it's cut incorrectly, if the rough stone is not looked at, understood, the underlying colors, the way the light flows. Some stones are monochroic and some are dichroic, which means the light travels in two directions and they're two different colors. Like that's what makes stones when you change them. stones that change color. And some are bluer, some are grayer. I mean, they're just, and this is what, when you cut the stone, you want it to show the best colors. So you have to understand the way the light flows. So I don't know what happened to my controller. I'm back. I wanted you to continue to be able to see my background, but that's okay. You're not gonna. So the light travels in a singular direction or a double direction. So your light is, you're born, right? You're born with a light. Your light is then, you are formed. Your facets are cut by your guidance, who you listen to, who's around you. As I mentioned yesterday, that people are inherently good and filled with love and caring and happy when they're born. Take a look at any little kid. Then people start chipping away at their facets. And they don't always tell them, this is what I've done to your light. I have dimmed your light. I have dimmed your color because I cut you the wrong way. I taught you a thing like, be careful. Be careful for what? Of what? Of what? You might fall down and cut your knee if you ride the bike too close to the wall. Okay, cut your knee, let the blood flow, it'll heal. As long as you're feeding your kid, or the kid's getting the right food, it will still heal. And we move on. So as you're born, your facets are being chipped away. Your teacher, you don't know these people. You don't know these people, but you go into my little hometown, Manchester by the Sea, and I look at the Facebook page and I say, oh, you remember this teacher, Mrs. Hunt, and Boyd, and all these other people. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And quite frankly, one or two, like we all have, I didn't want to remember very much because they didn't really guide me right. I have friends. We all have friends, right? That maybe didn't guide us. They put fear in us. Some of our parents, our uncles, our aunts, our cousins, don't do that. Really. We got to do this. You got to do this because you're my son, my daughter. You got to go to this school. You got to be the very best, and you got to be a doctor, and you got to do this. You got to go in that system, and you got to make a lot of money. What a life of satisfaction and richness. You are doing exactly what somebody else told you. Your facets are scratched, baby. Scratched. But the good news is, the really good news. Look, if you like this little perspective, click on the subscribe link. I got some good stuff. So we got to go deep. We got to go deep. And so I go to Gemstones. I have this project, by the way, for higher end jewelry for investors. And I go to a gem show. So I'm a gemologist 3 times over in the UK, actually 4 times. I studied in Belgium diamonds for a week, solid week. And then in the UK, the fellow of the Gemological Association of Great Britain, and accredited gemologist in Asia, and in America, a graduate gemologist. And I aced them all. I mean, I was invited to Washington to do this just because my perspective on gemstones, which comes full circle to the facets to life, I got these honors. Please come to Washington. No, I'm out in the middle of the South China Sea on a ship on an adventure. I will not go there and be stuffy. And yeah, I could have done, I could have rubbed shoulders with all these high level people. And maybe that was a good thing, but my lifestyle is not that way. So the project that I am doing is we'll design you or somebody your design, not my design, your design, very high-end piece. And it used to be like this COVID thing kind of damaged some parties, right? So we don't go to the parties that we used to. So the marketing of this kind of got a little damaged. But this, I'll leave it right there. So when I'm searching for the gemstones, I went to the Bangkok Gem and Jewelry Show, and I went to the best gemstone vendors. And they're just showing me these stones. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? You're telling me how beautiful this stone is, and I can see like right through, there's no reflection coming back to my eye, and there's no life in this stone because the light goes straight through, right out the other side, which is kind of like seeing something you really want to do, and it just goes straight through you, and you keep doing what you're doing because your facets are so off, and you're so like numbed, or not even dumbed down, just numbed to the possibility that I can't do that. Oh, I couldn't do that. They're so lucky. They're doing this. They're doing that. Well, come full circle. How do you get lucky? You create your luck. How do you know your future? You create your future. I'm going to predict the future. Okay. Create. So I go to these stones. I'm like, you want to charge me this? I said, I can give you that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to refacet. And I'm going to change the angles, like to make them proper for the right reflection, for the right type of stone. And I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to lose, like, this is a 4.3 carat stone. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, it's crappy. I mean, it's like having someone who has a lot of money in the bank and it's big and they got a lot, but got nothing because the money is not serving them and reflecting the beauty and the value of their thoughts of what they really wanted in life, because they're just so busy at making that they didn't live the life, that they're not really happy with their family or their however it is. They're just, they've just let it go by and got numbed by it. So when you refacet that and it costs money, right? So I got to spend money to recut the stone and make that. Oh my God, I didn't know what I chipped away. I chipped away the fat that made the stone round, that made the light not reflect back and make it beautiful and brilliant like it really is inside. And so when we get rid of that and start digging and looking, and you're like, oh my God, the gemstone cutter just comes up and says, hey, Peter, look at this stone. Look what's inside. What's inside you? What have you been, what is the fat or the extra stuff around you that protects you, hides your beauty, what you were taught, what you think, what somebody else wants you to think or repetitively got you to think? That's not really real. It's not deep inside what you're really made of. So to get and make the facets of your life beautiful, start chipping away. Start chipping away if you are that with the thoughts of it's time to get out, it's time to do something. And we have tools. The tools I have are when I do things in my business and I create programs and I build things, my philosophy is I build them for value, human value, and financial value, complete value that rewards you at every step of your life. And that's why I have the Net Effect 9 program, 3 areas: health, wealth, mindset. Without those 3, what do you call it? Balance? I don't know what you call it. You call it balance. I don't know what balanced is if you can't tell. Totally out of balance. But life is totally exciting and interesting and fascinating. A new day, right? So the 3 areas in your life that make your life exciting, fulfilled, the best that it can be, and full on, like every day. Every now and then, like I think about when I go out in summertime, like jet ski in the Atlantic, and some days are calmer than others. And one day I was out whale watching. I was like 20 miles, 25 miles off because I said, I'm doing this. And these people are out there like they've got 100 and so many people on these 120, 150 foot, 80 foot boat. I mean, a lot of people on these big boats come from Boston, Gloucester, Mass. And I figured, well, how am I going to find out where the whales are? I'll just travel and follow a boat out. But I didn't. I knew where they were because I was reading their posts and where the whales were. And I just, one morning, I headed out that way. And I'm screaming. I mean, I'm doing like 50, 60 miles an hour. And I got to hold on. It's a workout. It's a great workout. I'm on the ocean in a 10-foot, 11-inch jet ski, 20, 25 miles offshore. And I'm chasing the whales. And these big boats, it's captain's like, what are you doing here? You didn't like really belong here. You're going to scare the whale. I'm like, holy shit, Captain. What is wrong with your ego, bro? I shouldn't be there on a 10-foot, 11-inch jet ski, and you got 6 exhaust, loud diesel pipes blown out of the back of your boat, and I shouldn't be there. Like, polluting the ocean, scaring the whale, but the whales get used to it, right? So I'm like a little piece of bait for the whale out there, and I'm getting these shots. Oh my God, it was so fun. And after I was done, like I'm not driving around the whales fast or anything. So once I got there, I did photographs. I watched the whales. I photographed the people that were photographing the whales. And I did some marketing images and sent them into the company. So nobody's got those images when they're out watching the whales. All they got is a picture of the whales. I got a picture of them and they're happy people watching the whales. So making money while I'm out there, right? So anyway, I was done for a couple hours and I had enough whales. And I headed back in, and it was a little bumpy, but not much. I mean, it just swelled, sunny, gorgeous day. And I just going hard. And then I just shut the engine off out in the middle of the ocean, right? Like I'm now like 15 miles offshore. And I just shut it off. And I laid back on my jet ski, and I started meditating. I'm just like deep breathe, feeling the sun, listening to the waves, the little waves lap up front because it was a little breeze and it was really calm, but there were some swells, nice swells, like you're in the womb of Mother Nature, getting massaged by the sea. And it really helps to put you in the center. I was shut my jet ski back, lay back. I sent some pictures to my team. And because I did a little selfie, and I'm like, the jet ski is not in a wave runner, isn't these crazy people running around speeding all the time. It's people living life in some cases. And I got to say, it's probably the 5% is where I'm living. Like my friend, Jonathan, who took me to Canada, who went to Canada with me. I didn't drive him, but we went together. So it was like we went together. We had a good time. And all that you think. So the reason I tell you that you can just turn it on and find your center, get connection, start connecting and getting your faith, and replace the fear with the faith, and get up and go out and live your life of total freedom. Be free. I was going to do a presentation here on showing you the packages we have. That's another day. You can come back, subscribe. And I got these packages. They're turnkey. It's like an investment. You go put money in the stock market, you're out of control, but the stock market does what it does. Right now it's going up, but I would be careful. And when you invest in sterling silver or gold jewelry, you're investing in a precious metal. So you invest in that, and you're investing in yourself because you're your own boss and you call the shots where you're going to go. But if you're unsure of where you're going to go, how you're going to go, how you're going to do it exactly, and it sounds good to you, I have training included. So when you buy the jewelry wholesale, you get it wholesale. I give you a ton of training. Some of you may want it. Some of you may not. Some of you are already selling at fairs, festivals, but I can show you how to scale it up and maybe even double your income depending on how well you listen and the actions that you take. I've got tools that most companies will not give you, especially if you're buying crap from China or India. There's some decent stuff, but you gotta work so hard to find it. And you gotta really work hard. But I did the hard work. I spent 4.5 years and decided I couldn't find it. I'll make it myself. Then I spent another 29 years perfecting or improving the jewelry making process. And I have certificates. I will show you later in another video. It's tomorrow. And I will show you the certificates. I'm going to show you what I'm going to give you, your own jewelry collection when you invest in a bigger way, but it's not that much. So we have 4 levels of investment, but primarily 3. There's an intro, a middle for people that have done fairs and festivals or who've had a business and they closed their store because of this stupid CV thing. And then there are people rules, the stupid rules, okay? And that, please let me clarify that. Then there's a higher end that you want to go out, you want to work, and you want to make some money. I'm turning this into a big business because I did have to shut my store, and I was making $100,000, $200,000, $250,000, $500,000, but I had to shut my business down. Now what am I going to do? Online, a woman with a 3,500 square foot store called me, said, Peter, she emailed me. She says, I got to close my store. Don't know much about online business. Can you help us? The answer is yes. We know we're online, we've been fairs, festival, and I don't know yet if she is interested in doing that. We're doing the online thing with her now, but that's the next step with her to tell her to get out. And if you have a store and you're locked in and you got to stay in the same place all the time, a lot of expense. Now you don't have those expenses, maybe. And you definitely want to consider fairs, festivals, and events. So I'll leave it at this. And for more details of what you really get, so if you bought wholesale jewelry from China and it's cheap, that's all you get. And you'll be hard pressed if there's something wrong with it to get it fixed and get your money back or whatever it is. You don't even know who sent this to you. And I'm going to just end this with one last thing is I go online and I see a website and they say about us. And I go, really? I want to know because this looks kind of decent. You got a really good presentation, easy to do. You got a really good story, easy to write. You got really good images of jewelry. Are they real? Easy to do. Higher. You can do anything and make believe. But when you get your box from China, matter of fact, I'm just going to share one more thing. They shut down. Thank God Bezos has a little bit of balls in him, and he's not running away like with his WAPO and hiding. I mean, the nerve of somebody to shut down another business. That is not nice. So finally, I had a little inspiration from this guy that he actually just kicked off like 16 big Chinese companies. It's a little late. And I don't know if you know, but the American government 10 years ago gave China a preference, and you can ship jewelry from China for like $2 for a U.S. postal. But in America, we have to pay like 4 times that. I don't know if people know. My customer who sells a lot on Amazon told me that. He says, Peter, I'm really at odds. They give all these favors to these foreign. I'm like, really? Really? It's warning time, folks. I'm just telling you, you gotta reliability. You don't let your money go. If you made a lot of money in the stock market or whatever, I mean, it's getting close to get out. Take it and reinvest it and get the life of travel. You made a lot of money in Bitcoin, take some of it out. Invest it in something solid, not in electrons. Not in electrons. Get it while you can, is what I'm saying. That's great. Somebody got Bitcoin for $10 offered to me. And now it's 50-something thousand. Not a bad return. Take some of it out. Invest it and live your life. And have a little nest egg on the side if you need it. If that's where you are. If that's not where you are, come and get on a journey and inspire yourself. Get your life going and say, yes, I will. I'm letting that stuff go. I'm getting out and I'm living my life. You chip away, shine, be the most beautiful, faceted person you can be, and let your light reflect back to others. This is Peter Stone saying, thanks for checking in. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, everyone. This is Peter Stone. I started a little factory in my house. And today in Peter Stone, we have almost 100 people working. And many of those people, actually, I looked, more than 24 people have been with us for more than 20 years. My wife and I, she worked in another company. I said, come and help me. And she did, and we grew it. And it was a struggle. We grew it and hired a few more people and a few more people. I would go on a Saturday or Sunday, and people are working 6.5 days a week in filthy conditions. Food on the floor, rats running around. And when I first started my company, I would give people, sometimes they were sick, I'd drive them home and bring them up to their room. And when I saw their room and the running water on the 3rd floor going down from the bathrooms, I was like shocked. Wow. I said, this is unbelievable. It, like, my heart kind of ached and my gut hurt, my solar plexus. And I kind of drove me. And I said, how can we help these people and help Peter Stone grow? And we did that all through the years. And we worked at a level. We smiled. We're still friends today. And their esteem has risen. And my mindfulness has improved dramatically. I have learned so much from the Thai people about their focus and being okay. They work so hard to just remain in silence. And in that silence, they make beautiful Peter Stone jewelry that I love so much. I just love it. It blows me away because it's not my hands that make it. I do the designing, and the model makers, I sat next to them. Still today, they're here. for 4 years training them how to do this, and took the people that set the mark aside, who are now managers doing a menial job. They're managers and they have self-worth, and the company has flourished. And today we want to expand that. We want your help to show what a company can be like when we put heart and caring into it. It can be profitable and touch the world in so many ways. A lot of people don't know, but we at Peter Stone know, and we want to go out and share this message and help other people do the same thing and share the same values. It's time, because it's not all about the money. It's about the money. We got to have the money, and that's what this video is about. But what you do with the money and the heart that's involved in it, and the caring, and the beautiful pieces of jewelry that get created by such an amazing team, I am eternally grateful. And for what you can contribute, invest, and fund in Peter Stone, I am also grateful for. We invite you for the journey because you are getting a part of something special. This is Peter from Peter Stone saying thank you very much.